Hi there everyone, bit of an impromptu video this. Before I get to this subject, hope to see lots of you in 1 month's time at the British Shooting Show. I'll be there on Friday and Saturday, 17th and 18th of February. Hope to see some smiling faces, and hope the queues for scopes like the PARD DS35, PARD DS35-XXRF, LRF, the Alpex A50T, the Pulsar C50. Hope these queues aren't too big to prevent some of us from having a good look at any new gear, because I think these are going to be the hot items this year. I look forward to seeing you all there. Cheers. I'm here in the Brucey Bonus Man Cave, and 2 videos hopefully going online from today. Thanks very much to Sportsman Gun Centre for the heads up on the info we're about to provide to you with the help of Bruce here. Without further ado, I'll turn the camera around and we'll get recording. This is my own scope, but we have here the PARD DS35-70 LRF, and that's the 70mm focal length version, and it has an onboard integrated laser rangefinder, and on the other side we've got an infrared illuminator lamp. Now, a few people have zeroed this at their airgun ranges, and they find that thanks to the zero shift function, they've been able to accommodate quite a lot of zero adjustment, especially with air guns. And then they found that the LRF splash, because the LRF module being fixed to the scope body, the LRF splash doesn't move. So they then want to adjust it. And thanks to Sportsman Gun Centre, Bruce is now going to talk us through. Hi, Bruce.
Hiya.
Bruce is going to talk us through how to physically adjust the direction of the LRF beam.
We've had some people asking about the position of the laser splash on the DS35 and if it's possible to move it. Well, here's the range-finding laser on the DS35, and thanks to Sportsman Gun and George at Sportsman Gun, they've given us some instructions on how to go about this, and it turns out it's actually pretty much the same as it was in the old 008. Okay, so if you look at the front of the LRF module, you'll see there are 4 little bumps. Behind those bumps there are little 4 screws, and to get access to those screws you have to prise off a thin plastic cover at the very front of the module. Now I'm not going to do it because this is Russ's scope and it's already set, but you get yourself a little thin sharp tool, get into the gap between the plastic cover and the main body of the module and prise that off. Then you'll see the 4 screw heads. They'll probably be covered or have some silicone gunk in them. Pick that gunk out of there, and then by simply screwing in and out the individual screws, you can adjust where the splash is going to appear on your display. Yep. Basically, you're adjusting the alignment of the splash up and down and right and left. Yep. by tightening and loosening these screws. It's a bit of a suck it and see process. Now, myself, I'm not going to do that. I've used, these are Eagle Vision Cam Infinity mounts. This is my 22 FAC FX Impact M3, and I zeroed this last week, and at 25 meters, the pellets were striking 2.5 inches down. Now I could easily, with the zero shift function, lowered the point of aim by 2.5 inches, but rather than do that, I used the adjustable mounts, so the LRF beam should be right where it was set in the factory still. Everything should still be central. So it's up to you, but be aware that it's an iterative process, suck it and see, as Bruce says, to adjust these 4 screws, to adjust the actual beam direction of the LRF. And of course, if you physically adjust the direction of the beam, and then you go and turn the rifle power up or down, or you use a heavier or a lighter pellet or slug, that could then mean you've got to move your zero such that the LRF may not be on screen anymore. So be aware that this is not perfect. It depends on your rifle setup. I would say if you've got the scope mounted permanently in one rifle and you're not changing ammunition, then it's going to work perfectly. It's not because your zero is pretty much always going to be the same.
Yeah.
If you move the scope from rifle to rifle, you could potentially have an issue because your zero could be very different, and therefore the splash could finish up in a different place.
Yeah.
But that's just how it is.
So thanks to this soft rubber gasket in here, Bruce has taught me through the method, and it's very similar to the method on the older PARD DS LRF and the 88P LRF. Although on those scopes the LRF module is mounted on the right hand side, but basically it's a similar method for redirecting the direction of the laser rangefinder LRF splash relative to the crosshairs. Okay, Thanks very much, Bruce.
No problem.
And thanks to Sportsman Gun Centre for talking us through this. The PDF version of this explanation is on my Google Drive, and I'll put a link to that in the video description below. Brilliant. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Bruce.
Okay.
Hope that's useful for those of you who are looking to adjust the beam of your LRF. Now, as we've said, not for everybody, and I found last night, zeroing my scope on this rifle, 25 meters, the LRF splash is just left of center and just above the horizontal stadia, and out at 50 meters it was maybe 6 inches higher, just left of center. So that's how mine came from the factory, and it's fine for me.